Hi everyone, welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapies. Well, what glorious weather we're having here in the UK. It's so nice to see blue skies and sunshine. You know, it just feels so more natural and more organic. So let's hope that this is a sign of things to come, you know, less chemtrails, receiving the light from the sunshine, which is divinely ours to have. You know, the sunshine's really important for us to acknowledge the keys and codes coming from the realms of the sun, which is going to help with the ascension process. Obviously, mainstream media are saying it's a terrible heat wave and creating all sorts of hysteria around it, but what more would we expect really from mainstream media? So we've just come through the Lion's Gate. Quite interesting. I found the energy really knocked me on Wednesday. I thought, oh, that's all right, this year I've got through it, but I was absolutely knocked sideways on Wednesday. But I know it's just, you know, we are receiving a lot of light at the moment, and the more we can integrate this, the better. So I think I've spoken before about how to integrate it. You know, I always open my 12 chakras, and I know I've been through this before, but I start at below the soles of my feet, which is the Earth Star chakra. Then I move up to my base, my sacral, my navel, my solar plexus, my radiant golden heart, my throat, my third eye, my crown, my causal, my soul star, and the stellar gateway. So I kind of visualize those opening, and then I ask for the light of the seven suns to come down in through my chakras, down into the earth. I've said it before, but you know, I visualize it going into the ley lines, to the sacred spaces on the earth, the oceans, even the tree root systems, you know, so we can anchor, all of us can anchor the light in, and the more of us that do this, the stronger the light gets, the more powerful the light gets, and you know, it really will help us move into the fifth dimension. And another thing that we can do to bring on this timeline that lots of us are quite keen to get is, you know, share your truth a little bit, not in a aggressive way, but if I've noticed people are starting asking questions now. I'm getting far less people kind of aggressive against non-vaccinated people, because obviously a lot of people have realised that they've got health issues with taking vaccines, and it's becoming really apparent that people that haven't just don't seem to be getting ill. You know, we seem to be carrying on in a healthy way. So I think that's, people are less likely to be aggressive towards us, and more, you know, people are starting asking things now about bigger truths. I think in the UK here, this energy bill thing has really woken a lot of people up. They realise how corrupt these corporations are, and you know, there's 100,000 people pledged not to pay their energy bill, and people are stopping paying the BBC TV licence because they realise that the BBC support paedophiles like Jimmy Savile, etc., and it's corrupt, and they don't tell the truth. You know, I've been to lots of rallies in the UK going back to April 2021, when there was literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people marching against vaccine mandates and things. The BBC didn't report it, and I think people are waking up to that now. You know, there's so much more going on. But share your truth, everybody, you know. This cash thing, trying not to have cash. A friend and I have just been down to a local park, and they've opened this cafe and they won't take cash. Well, I'm not supporting that business, because this is all the agenda of the deep state, the cabal. They want us to be digital, they want us to every transaction be traceable, so that it's a forerunner to the social credit system that they've got in China, where if you're a good citizen you're allowed to do things, and if you're not, you're not. So every time you get your card out, you are feeding into that system. So you know that we can do things. I know a lot of people say, well, what can I do? I'm just me. Yeah, well, what can I do? Say, like in the last couple of years, 1 million people have stopped paying their TV license. So that's what I can do as an individual, for example, if that's what you feel is the right thing to do. Same with these energy bills. 100,000 people have pledged not to pay their energy bills and start a complaint to the energy companies. Well, that's what we can do as individuals. We don't have to be hustled into this position where we're powerless. Once you give your power up, it's hard to get it back, but the trick is not to give it up in the first place. We're beyond being controlled. You know, lots of you are teetering on this idea that you can see things aren't right, but not many people dare come out and say it because they get branded conspiracy theorists, etc. But even if we look at what have been deemed conspiracy theorists over the last 30 years, all the conspiracies are coming true, aren't they? You know, it's easy to see, and I think we are on the precipice of a lot coming out. So if you can share snippets of truth with people in a loving way, not in an aggressive way, but in just asking questions, they're going to find it a lot easier, because there's a lot going to be coming out, and our jobs as awakened souls are to help people through the period of time that's going to be coming really quite soon. So yeah, a bit different today. I've kind of talked more about practical things and what's going on rather than spiritual things, but you see, you can't divorce one from the other. A lot of people I can see, like a lot of people I know in a local group, they awake to all the government agendas, but they aren't awake to the spiritual side of things. Last week I went to a festival called All About Love, which was, I've never been to a festival before, but it was a lot of people that are open to spiritual stuff, but they still believe in the government, they still believe in climate change, they still believe in, you know, the agendas. So that lot of people were in kind of fourth dimensional space in terms of they could tap into the spiritual side of things. And then I've got the other group of people I know that are awake but aren't spiritual. They're on a 4D, but they're in 4D because they can see that through the government lies, but they are divorced from spirit. Well, what we need is a mixture of both. You know, we need the people that are divorced from spirit and see everything as dystopia. They're in a really tricky place because they're not understanding spirit, and those in the spirit side of things that think the government are wonderful, they're equally in a tricky place. You know, the idea is to integrate all of this knowledge to get a more rounded view. You can't really have one without the other. Ascension means that we wake up, but also we look to spirit for guidance, and this is why I'm absolutely 100%. I'm not in the slightest bit worried about what's to come, because I trust wholeheartedly in spirit, and I know that we're entering a much better phase for the human being, and we've just got to step into that and embrace it whilst keeping our connection to source. So a little bit different today. I'll leave that with you. Have a wonderful day and enjoy this wonderful weather. I certainly am. I might go for a swim in the river later. Lots of love to you all. Bye.